to the Netiquette Podcast. This week we're going to be talking about live on the 10 rules of Netiquette. The first rule, the golden rule. Treat others with respect. It may be an old rule, you may have heard it before, but it's the best rule there is. Treat how you wanted to be treated. Then people will treat the same way back to you. That way you'll have many, many friends. We'll talk to you later, next week on the Netiquette Podcast. Bye-bye. Welcome back to the Netiquette Podcast. This week we're going to be talking about no flaming. Flaming is a form of verbal abuse when you say something really rude to someone. I do not advise this. If you say that, people will get really mad and they'll start saying things back at you, even if they say something that you don't agree with. There's a way to solve that without yelling at each other. If you don't flame and you don't say things that make other people want to yell at you, you'll have many online friends. See you next time on the Netiquette Podcast.
Come back
Netiquette Podcast.
to today's rule is to respect others' copyrights. There are lots of wonderful things online and lots of information about everyone. However, these things have copyright and license. Copying the work of someone else's work without permission or saying it is your own will ruin your online reputation. See you next time on the Netiquette Podcast.
Welcome back to the Netiquette Podcast. I know last week it was a bit of a maybe mishap. This week we're going to be talking about the rule. Don't type in all caps. It hurts our eyes. People think you're shouting at them. You don't want to give the impression that you're not really doing. You can use it sometimes, maybe just to show that you really mean this. People, it's okay to type in caps a word or two, but don't do it everywhere you go. Follow this rule. It's really important. Well, actually, all of these rules are important. See you next time on the Netiquette Podcast.
Back
to the Netiquette Podcast. This week we're talking about no spamming. Spamming is
when you write something really stupid like A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yeah,
And it's rubbish email that comes to you once in a while.
Maybe not once in a while, maybe all the time. It drives us crazy. It just blocks up the whole email system. Don't send spam messages each day.
It bothers other people.
They say even nice things, which we don't even like. Like, I really like your blog. We find that annoying, even though it's nice. So, we'll find out who these spammers are and make sure you're not one of them. See you next time on the
Netiquette Podcast. Welcome back to the Netiquette Podcast.
This rule is about being honest. Everyone likes honesty. You do not like people who lie, especially liars. That's what they are.
Don't pretend to be someone else or trying to cheat people online. That will hurt people's feelings
and your reputation.
You know the line, honesty is the best policy. It's also one of the 10 best rules for netiquette.
We'll see you next time on
the Netiquette Podcast.
Welcome back to the Netiquette Podcast. We're talking about spelling and grammar. I know you guys hate spelling, but it's kind of important. People know what you're talking about. If you write stuff really strangely, like you write right as in R-I-T-E, people find it really annoying. We know that spelling mistakes happen, and it's not right for people to start yelling at you for them.
But if you do that purposely, people will start yelling at you, so stop doing that.
Yeah. And you'll also get better at spelling. See you next time on the Netiquette Podcast.
Bye!
Back to the Netiquette Podcast. This week we're talking about the TOSs. Most sites have a terms of service. So it is policy that lists rules of their website netiquette. Read it and listen to these rules. People like their posts are deleted because they have not followed the rules. Follow these rules and your post will stay. See you next time on the Netiquette Pod.
Welcome back to the Netiquette Podcast. This week, our rule is don't write anything PG-13.
Don't
Be-
swear.
Behave like your age if you're a child. If you're a kid, then you shouldn't be looking at stuff that's not appropriate for you. And don't swear, because people might get... Welcome back to the Netiquette Podcast. This week's rule is to write stuff that are true on the internet. Don't lie about anything.
Make sure your sources are reliable.
Don't use sources like Wikipedia.
Wikipedia is reliable.
No, not
Just
really.
make sure you know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And especially chain mails. I hate them. They get in my inbox all the time saying, "You will die if you do not post this on." There was a girl called blah 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 blah. Okay?
Don't believe these kind of things and don't make them up too.
Yeah. It jams up the internet and it's just not nice.
And it gets really annoying sometimes.
So follow these rules and you'll be the best Netiquette podcast. This is our last episode, so see you next.
We'll never see you again.
Have a good time on the web. It's the Netiquette Podcast.
Bye.
Hi, I'm not supposed to be doing this, but Valerie, sorry. Oh, my computer. Bye.
Hi.
Guys, you're like such a fail. We've been trying to film this for like half an hour. Wait. Act natural. We made it. No one caught us. Maybe the few Miss Arizona place, but we're here, back at the studio. See you next time. Bye. Keep safe on the web.